We have an updated rule set. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the After Action Report. As always, my name is Shani and we have a lot to cover in a short amount of time for this week's video, considering that there was a game update, there's a rule set update, there's a new map in the game, blah 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 blah. There's just so much going on and it's really great to be able to have so much to chat about rather than being like, okay, well nothing really happened this week and I've got nothing to talk about, so let's jump right into it and start with the game. Now, straight off the bat, I obviously want to mention how with every week there's obviously changes and different buffs and nerfs to different weaponry and different kind of ways that it affects the game. With that being said, that has affected the rule set for competitive, which I will chat about during the meta, but the game update this week or this past week has changed quite a lot. There was a lot of buffs and nerfs to a bunch of things. And obviously there was the introduction of Nuketown. So Nuketown is currently its own playlist, but they have said that Nuketown will be incorporated into the other playlists going forward. It is obviously a free update and will be coming to Xbox and PC next week, if I'm not mistaken. It'll be coming out on this date because obviously PlayStation gets stuff a week earlier just because exclusivity, and PlayStation pay a lot of money to be able to have that. There has also been an introduction to what is called a daily tier skip or something like that, which essentially your first multiplayer win for the day or your first merits earned in Blackout will give you a guaranteed skip of a level. It's just basically to encourage you to play the game every day. Kind of like with World War II where you had a daily login, now you've got a daily tier skip so you can get through your tiers quicker. The Blackjack shop is now fully operational. I may or may not have already bought something from it because I saw the bubble emote and I needed it in my life. I don't know why, I only ever use the emotes in Blackout, but I needed it and I did buy it. I had a lump sum of COD points saved up from having bought a special edition of the game and the Blackout Pass and connecting my companion app with my Activision account. So now I had so many COD points and I was like, well, I might as well spend them on cosmetics, right? So that's a thing. I've also bought the special outfits for Prophet, Battery, and Seraph. With that being said, like I said, this update did try and fix a whole bunch of things, but I think the most kind of annoying thing about this entire update is the fact that that keeps happening. I don't know if it's as unstable on Xbox and PC, but PlayStation, as of the last week, has been ridiculously unstable for me. Let me know if you've been having the same experience. But previously, I'd maybe have, in a week of play, I'd maybe have 3 blue screens in total. I'm getting 3 or 4 blue screens a day now. And I'm not even doing anything. It's not like I'm going into theater mode, which I knew had buggy, crashy issues. Now I'll just be playing. I'll be mid-game. I'll be sitting in a lobby waiting to party up with people. And nope, suddenly blue screen, ripperoni, have to restart my PlayStation. So I don't know what's going on there. Hopefully Treyarch can fix this. It's a little bit of a concern that the game is now over a month old, and the more they try and update and patch the game, the more they're breaking it by the seams of it. So let's fix that, like, pretty please. At least Blackout has been working for me, so that's a plus. But I would really like to not have my game blue screen. But that is enough about the game. Let's move on to the scene. I cannot stress enough, I know Zombie Dread tweeted about this earlier this week, in that it's getting more and more difficult to keep track of roster announcements and free agent announcements. I have left a link below to Zombie Dread's blog post, and he has included an email address in order for him to keep it as updated as possible. Captains, please keep your rosters up to date as best possible, because then our information, both Zombie Dread and my information that I get to relay here on After Action Report, can be as close to accurate as possible at time of filming. These are the rosters that I have. The scene is growing really nicely and there's a lot of names that I haven't seen before, so I'm excited that more and more people are getting involved in competitive COD. Whether they stick around for the entire season again, as I've said in previous episodes, I hope they do, because it'll be really great if we can finish the season strong going into the next season, and hopefully they stick around. but I'm really stoked to see how COD has grown. I've seen an influx of streams going live. I try and retweet where I can. So there are 2 rosters that I do want to have a chat about this week, so let's get into that. So White Rabbit announced their roster. I chatted about it on After Action Report, and then literally after the episode went live, I got a direct message and be like, well, Shani, not really the case. This is what's happening. And then I had updated rosters and we could see who had moved where from White Rabbit. And now I finally have a roster to finally chat about. I've been waiting to talk about this roster since like the 22nd of October, and I'm so excited to finally say that the confirmed roster for White Rabbit going into the Black Ops 4 season is Sharpie, who is an original White Rabbit member, Hypes, who we know has come from Vinco, and then Fanboys, Trigger, and Trexie, which are from the Royal Squad that competed in World War II. And along with that announcement, they also tagged Zero and Slayer J. Now, Zero I know is the coach / manager. I don't know what role Slayer J is filling, but I can imagine it's something along the lines of coach, manager, content person. Then I also want to chat about Ventus. Now, Ventus, I said last week that I got this roster from Zombie Dread's article on Zombie Gamer. I had an individual contact me via direct messages and being like, well, that's not actually the case. There are currently 2 rosters trying to trial it out for the spot of representing Ventus. I've left the squad that I had originally written down there. I've had to add a strike through since I'm not 100% sure if that is going to be the squad. I will keep you up to date. And that is going to do it for the scene this week. Make sure if you are tweeting anything CODZA related, make sure you're using the hashtag. I've seen a ton of people saying how they're looking for teams, they're a free agent, they're looking for teams, they want to get into the competitive scene. The first and foremost place to go is using the hashtag and searching the hashtag, because teams that are looking to trial will be using it, as well as if you're a team looking for players, players will be using it saying, hey, I'm looking for a team, can I play with you guys, or can I trial, or someone give me a shot. So all in all, just use the hashtag. CODZA is known within the esports scene in South Africa to be the most active on Twitter, and that is probably the reason why, is because we use Twitter as much as we do. Let us move on to the meta. Now, I already mentioned how this week's update has changed some stuff to the game, and specifically they added, which has made not only my life as a caster, but every single person who needs to set up a lobby for something competitive, they have finally added the option to choose the esports mode. So you don't have to physically go and change every rule individually, independently, every single map. You can just say, okay, select the esports mode, and all of the settings have already been pre-selected for you. I'm so happy about that. It makes not only tournament running and casting and setting up GBs and scrims and everything, it's just an improvement of life, and it should have been included from the very beginning, but I also understand that they needed the rule set to be finalized. So yeah, we finally have that. But with that also being said, I did mention how there were changes, buffs, nerfs and stuff that was included in this week's update, which has been included and changed the rule set. So we have a 1.2 rule set now for the Black Ops 4 season. I have linked it below. As it stands, the current control maps are Arsenal, Frequency, Gridlock, and Seaside. They have removed Jungle and Payload. Hardpoint, the maps are now Arsenal, Frequency, Gridlock, Seaside, and Hacienda. They removed the maps Contraband, Slums, and Summit. Then S&D, the maps are Arsenal, Frequency, Gridlock, Hacienda, and Payload, where they removed Firing Range and Seaside. I know more and more people want Seaside to be removed entirely from the rotation, but then again, to each their own. I know there's certain kind of opinions with regards to certain things in the competitive rule set, but as we mentioned, this rule set is going to change and evolve as the game changes and evolves over the year. But it's nice to see that some of those, well, the very, very big map pool has now been cut down to a little bit smaller. So I think it's 5 maps per mode now, which is great. It still means a very long veto process, or whichever process is going to be used in order to choose maps and for the rotation. It's good to see. So that has been the update. Once again, I have linked that in the description below, as well as all of the details to the finer tweaks to weapons and so on and so forth. The last 2 things that I want to chat about with regards to the meta is gentleman agreementing things. So once again, I need to stress, and just my personal opinion, and I know a lot of players in CODZA agree with me in that, can we please, as a South African region, as a South African competitive scene, can we please stick to the same gentlemen's agreements that the pros are playing with overseas? I have mentioned this in a previous video, so I don't want to harp on it too much. Then finally, the last point that I want to chat about with the meta is, remember that there are 2 LANs coming up for the South African scene. There's obviously the Raving Mad Gamers LAN happening in December. I will be casting. I have linked it down below. I'm not support or anything like that, but make sure you go register your team. Then Gamma is also doing the Durban LAN, so I've also left those links in the description. The description is always going to be your place to find information that I think is useful for you this week and is going to be beneficial to you to grab information from. So that has been the meta, and let us move on to the plays. So starting off the clips this week, we've seen some snipes from Keegs, who is Gamma Drags in the past. This was submitted for him on behalf of his organization. We haven't seen much from Blackout. I know I included some of my own Blackout a while ago. I saw some Blackout from Cerberus a while ago in one of the earlier episodes, but I just want to have this out there on the internet for people to see. I know we've seen the snipe the pilots out of the helicopter, but watch this. He misses the first one and gets the second one. I want to see more Blackout plays. Please, if you're submitting plays and you're playing some Blackout, please, I want some more I personally am in love with Blackout at the moment. Now, we've seen Annihilator gameplay, we've seen Tempest gameplay, we haven't seen much War Machine on After Action Report, so there's a quick and easy 2-piece right there. But what I love about playing at Hacienda is if they push there, it's a very quick and easy quad feed. Now we have some nasty snipes on Militia here. There, that battery goes down, but watch this. Instead of getting the collat, the Seraph manages to jump past, doesn't get away from the snipes just yet, and it's just a quick 4 kill. It wasn't a quad feed, but there's just 4 quick and easy snipes right there. Nice fairy kill move. Then lastly, I have 2 different clips from 2 different scrims, which I'm really excited to see that scrim play is now getting clipped and being shared. They're both 4-mans, well, not quad feeds, but they're both 4-man clips, so because there's comms, I'm not going to be commentating over it, so I'll enjoy, and I will see you guys in the outro.
I'm sitting down, I'm laying down, I'm laying down.
Two there, pushing.
Blue, check blue, somebody.
They're gone.
Nice.
Oh my god, 4!
With Magnus.
Yeah, I need someone with me.
And lock's broken, I can't use my scarf.
Hey,
Yeah,
5 crossed,
man,
5 crossed, 5 crossed.
Oh. I got one. There's one in trailer and there's one on the wall.
Yeah, I need help.
Oh
my god!
Oh
god!
my
Holy
god.
shit.
Yo, 4-man.
Hello, Twitter.
So that has been it for episode 5. I can't believe that it's basically, actually, what date did I release my first? 22nd. Okay, so we're a week short of being a month old, so I can't believe that we're almost a month into doing the After Action Report. We're already on episode 5. It's been really great experience so far, but I do need to stress that I'm only going to continue creating these videos as long as the videos get support. If the videos no longer get support, I don't see the worth and value behind me doing all of the research, prepping for each video, keeping an eye on the scene if no one's going to be supporting the videos. So I appreciate everyone that has been involved. I appreciate everyone that has been in contact with me to say how much they've been enjoying the series. If you're commenting on the videos, if you're leaving likes on the videos, I really do appreciate it. But as I mentioned all the way in episode 1, I can only do this if it gets support from the scene. And so far I have been, and that's great, and I really appreciate it, but I just wanted to reiterate that I'm only going to continue creating these videos while this series gets the support. If I see the support starts wavering, then I might have to move on to doing something else. But I've been enjoying it so far. I'm enjoying that you guys are enjoying it. And yeah, so that has been it for the week. If you want to submit clips, once again, here is the hashtag and the email address is in the description below. I've been receiving an increased amount of emails getting sent to me, so I am enjoying the higher quality. Thank you so much for that. But I'm going to leave it there for this week, and I will see you all in the next episode. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the episode. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. And I will see you guys very soon. Cheers. I hit my hand, and that hurts.